Hello there. Welcome back to Empower Your Soul. On the morning of June 14th, laying in bed, waking up pretty early, ready to go to a few softball tournaments that I had that day, I immediately heard Spirit tell me, crystal clear, put braids in your hair today. Protect yourself. And this is not something that Spirit normally tells me, nor did I even know about it until my lovely mentee, Nina, told me about braids as being energetic protection. So just like how Spirit always likes to work, they made me aware that braids could be used as energetic protection. And then that morning, out of nowhere, halfway in and out of sleep, they told me to put braids in my hair that day. Needless to say, I woke up, got out of bed, and immediately started braiding my hair. And in the middle of that, I thought I would grab a quick video, toss it on social media, and let everybody else know wear your braids today too. Just because it was so out of the ordinary for my team to say that to me. After that, I went downstairs and I warned my husband because he is not, I would say, energetically open most of the time. He doesn't really understand energy, which is really interesting because he is definitely somebody who can read my energy, read my kids' energy, etc. So I gave him advance notice and I said, hey, I think something's up today energetically. In case the kids are a little wild, it might not be them, it might be the energy around them today. So at the end of the day, after we'd gone through all of the day, right after I've gone through and processed all the energy that had happened today, my husband sat down next to me and said, hey, how was it? Was everything okay today? How was the energy today? And I realized that he had a gross misunderstanding of kind of what I meant by protecting my energy and how the kids might be influenced by energy. And it really made me think about energy and why we need to protect. Because at the beginning of our metaphysical journey, if you ever scroll on Reddit, right? There's all these posts, witchy posts, mediumship posts, all these spirituality subreddits and everything like that talk about how you need to ground, center, clear, and protect your energy. And a lot of these are based on fear. Fear against evil, fear against demons. And so a lot of people, when you hear protect yourself, that's what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh my goodness, there's energy vampires out there. There's demons out there. There's something bad that's going to happen that I need to protect myself from. Otherwise, I can be harmed or put in harm's way. But here is the reality about energy. So, and I love this because having that conversation with my husband really made me go back and think about what's the reality of protecting your energy. Why do we do it? How do we do it? What does it mean? Right? And I think this is going to be something that is very eye-opening for all of you if you're less versed in this energy space. And also, it was really cathartic, I'm going to say, for me to write the notes to record this podcast episode, because the reality is that we don't protect ourselves from entities. We don't protect ourselves from anything bad because nothing bad really exists in the spirit world. Now, you can fight me on that. That's okay. That's my current stance at this point. And I firmly believe the things that we need protection from are here in the physical realm. And you have heard me probably once or twice on my social media accounts telling you hell isn't real, but if there was hell, I would bet that it's here on earth in the physical world because it is not easy living here. And so if you're an empath and you are really sensitive to energy and you're going to be really influenced by the energy around you, this is what I'm talking about with protection, right? Because if you are, I'm going to say, let's just keep it on a scale from 1 to 10 vibrationally, right? So let's say your highest and best self is at a 10. It's a perfect score, right? 10 out of 10. Your lowest, worst day is a 1. Right? That's when you're depressed. You can't get out of bed. You're really sad. You're really angry. You're really upset, right? So your energy, your vibrational frequency can be on a scale from 1 to 10. Okay. So if you wake up and you're a 5, right? And you're walking into a situation that's an 8 or a 9 or a 10, you're going to be influenced by that higher vibrational energy if you aren't protecting yourself. And likewise, it's the same if you're a 5 and you're walking into a 1 or a 2. Again, you're going to be influenced by that energy as an empath, as a sensitive person who's probably a little more clairsentient than most of the population. You're going to pick up on the energy of the environment and the people around you, and that is naturally going to influence you if you aren't prepared for it. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about protection. And it's so interesting because for years before I even knew about energy, before I could read energy, before I knew I was influenced by energy, I was still being influenced by energy. I just didn't know it. I couldn't put a name to it. I didn't understand it yet. Right? So I was unconsciously being impacted by the energies of people, places, things all around me for years. And so whether you're conscious to it or not conscious to it, if you are somebody who is sensitive to energy, you are going to be somebody who is influenced by the energy around you. So if I talk about an example about that, oh my God, kids' birthday parties, anybody? When my 2 were little and we would have the really, really big birthday parties, like 25 plus kids at like the bounce house or the indoor playground places, I would go home and need a nap afterwards. Because I might be having my best day. I might have had an amazing morning, got a shower to myself, maybe got a coffee on the way, and I was feeling really good. But as soon as you're around the energy of 25 kids, what happens? 25 unregulated 2 to 3-year-olds, what happens? You lose your shit, everybody. You lose your shit. Because they are little energetic, chaotic tornadoes that can't regulate their emotions yet. And so being in an environment with that many kids in the same room, and probably their unregulated parents, that's a perfect equation for disaster, right? And that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying I was unduly influenced without my consent, mainly because I was just sensitive to energy and didn't know it. So as you can kind of get to what I'm talking about here, this can be both awesome and awful at the same time, because it is awesome. If you want to raise your vibration, if you know you're a low vibration and you want to raise your vibration, like if you're having a bad day and you want to feel really good, you're just going to go and change your environment. You're going to go to high vibe places. Maybe you go to Starbucks. Maybe you go, I don't know, get lunch. I'm going to say like when I was working in downtown Boston, go get lunch at like High Street Food Hall. By the way, if you haven't been there, it's freaking amazing. It's like high-end food market, 10 out of 10 recommend it. But what happens at lunchtime is all of the professionals from corporate America, all the financial district where you're in, all go there for lunch. And they're all high energy people now. I'm going to take the corporate shenanigans out of the equation for now. But they are high, they tend to be type A, like energetic people. So if you want high vibration, that's where you go. One of my friends is mentioning that she needs a little more motivation in creating her content. So she's going to go to high-end lobbies, high-end hotel lobbies where like rich people travel, right? Like this is what I'm talking about. So if you want to improve your vibration, if you want to feel better, go to environments that create that for you. Go to environments that feel really good and really high vibe for you. Now that might look different for a lot of people, right? Because what is like, you couldn't get me to caught dead to go hang out in a hotel lobby. Like, no, thank you. That would probably lower my vibration. So it's going to be unique to everybody, but it's your definition of what's high vibe. So likewise, if you're feeling good and you're walking into a low vibe environment, that means more likely than not, you are susceptible to that lower vibration. So let's talk about June 14th, shall we? Because if you remember, that day we had the Army/Trump's birthday parade. We had the mass, not your king protests, right? No kings. We had the Pope's speech that occurred that day. So people's energy, I'm going to argue with you. If you disagree with me, that's fine. People's energy we're all talking about negative things, low vibration things. And I'm sorry, when I say negative, I mean low vibration. This is like a common thing that I do, and a lot of people do. I don't think there's anything negative. I just think it's low vibration. So if I say negative, I mean low vibration. So advanced PSA there. So everyone's energy and intention was essentially focused on the same thing, right? This crazy ass presidency and what it's doing to our country. No matter what side you're on, because if you're on the MAGA side, right, this is a positive thing for you. If you're on the other side of the fence, then it's a negative thing for you, right? One way or another. Now, what normally happens day to day is we have things to do, right? You might hear door slams behind me. Mike, I have to take care of my kids. I got to cook dinner. I got to work. I got to create social media content. I got to record these podcasts, right? My husband has to go to work, right? So on a normal day, my kids normally at school. On a normal day, everyone is experiencing high or low vibration, and it tends to even out. Like it's that murmur of the crowd energetically. So it doesn't really influence me. I don't really need to protect myself on those days. But on days where that much stuff is going on, people's energy and intentions are all focused on the same thing, right? And when you focus on the same thing, it amplifies the power. And it was more focused, I'm going to say, on lower vibrational energy. So because it's like laser focused, it's more likely to impact you, even if you're not in the physical environment of these protests, the parade, not physically in the, presence of the Pope, right? And by the way, you are, because you're listening to me right now, right? Oh, sorry, I had to do it. But that's what I'm talking about, that even if you're not next to it, you're still in the collective energy of it. So what that means for you is maybe leading up to June 14th or on June 14th, if you didn't protect your own energy, maybe you felt shitty for no reason, right? Like maybe you couldn't get out of bed. Maybe you woke up and just felt completely sick or completely off. Maybe you were just grumpy, right? And so that is essentially what my team wanted me to protect myself against and warn other people, is that, hey, just like make sure your energy is your own today, because there's a lot going on. And they didn't want my whole day to be ruined or influenced by what was going on, because I had other things to do that day. Let's be honest, right? The other thing I want to say, cue the dog barking. Welcome to life, everybody. So even if you protect your energy, which is what I just said, that's great. But bigger picture, you are not the only one being impacted by the energy of what's going on. Like I said earlier, right? If you're an empath, and whether you know it or not, you're also being influenced by the energies that are going around, right? So as these emotions are more volatile, more targeted, more focused on certain vibrations, what happens is the people that maybe aren't aware that they're empaths or sensitive to clairsentient or like feelings, they might not know where it's coming from. They might not know how to protect themselves. And so they might just wake up on June 14th just not feeling themselves, right? And by the way, it was also a full moon the day before, right? So think about that. Like you have all of this energetic stuff that's influencing people that maybe don't know they're being influenced, and you have the full moon. So could you imagine? Like it was like crazy energy on steroids that day. So the fact of protection means not only I'm going to balance my energy, but I'm also going to make sure I am more focused, more aware, more grounded, observant of what other people are doing, just like you do on full moons when everyone's driving around crazy in their cars, right? You need to be more aware to stay safe. So that is what my team wanted me to do. They wanted me to make sure I'm staying in my energy and I'm more aware of the crazy around me. Like it or not, it was crazy that day. Can everyone agree to that? It was crazy. So how do you protect yourself? And when I asked my team this, I was like, I know a million ways. How do you want me to talk about this in the podcast? They said the best offense is a good defense. Welcome to my team, everybody. So essentially, you need to do or focus on whatever keeps you high vibe while also setting the intention of protection. Okay? Because it's a lot Nope, I'm not going to go there. They just made me stop my words. Never mind. So, whatever makes you feel really good and strong and protected, that's what you should be wearing. So, if you have special jewelry, like I have my Moldavite that I wear every day, I have my, what is this, angel wing cheapo necklace that I got like at a gift store in San Antonio a long time ago, that I wear all the time because it's very angelic to me. It feels very protective for me, even though I got it for like $10 at a store, right? Wearing crystals. I think that day, and I think I still have it in my pocket. Yes, I do. Keeping my garden quartz in my pocket, right? That's a really grounding, neutralizing crystal for me. I think in the post I also mentioned like smoky quartz, which transmutes negative energy into neutral or positive energy. And then, anything black obsidian, hematite, all of those things, tourmaline, those are all great crystals for attracting and absorbing negative energy, low vibration energy. In addition to just, I'm going to say, your artifacts that you're wearing or you have on you, like whether it's like amazing clothes that make you feel really strong and protected too, you can also play with your aura, which I'm going to talk about on the next podcast episode. You can put yourself in a very protective bubble, right? So that none of the energy can kind of come into your aura. And again, I will cover this next episode. That's a whole podcast episode unto itself. And again, they told me I could braid my hair, right? And so what you're doing with all these things, and you can do this out loud as well, as setting the intention that I am in my energetic bubble. Nothing can come in. I'm asking my angels, my guides, my loved ones to protect my energy and keep it pure today and in my highest and best good. I'm not going to let anything in. And so not only can you do it when you feel the need to, I guess that's the way I'll say it, because you can do this whenever you feel like you need protection, but you can also do it daily. I would say kind of rubs off at the end of the day. Like, I don't want to be weird like that, but it does. I would, if you want to maintain that energetic clarity, clearness, I guess is the word I'm trying to use here. It's good to kind of do that every day. So personally, I will get up and like do that in the shower in the mornings. I will set the intention that the water is washing away anything that's not for my highest and best good and kind of putting me in this bubble, protection bubble. So there you go. That's kind of how you do it. There's a million other ways. So don't feel like you're limited to the ways that I have said so. You are welcome to Google how to protect your energy and just be aware of all the weirdos out there who are going to tell you that it's, demons and evil things that you're protecting yourself from. You're not. But again, in the next podcast episode, I'll give you some more tips and tricks on how to solidify your aura to not let the other energy in. So I guess I had a couple questions that came in through my Instagram. Most of them I think are more aura questions, which gets me thinking, which is why I was like, I'm going to record one more. But I'm going to open up my thing while I'm talking. So do you need to protect every day? And again, the answer here is no. You do not need to protect every day. And the reason is, like I said before, because when it is just a normal Monday or a normal Friday, there's highs and there's lows, and everybody's on like a different vibrational level. So that to me tends to even out the vibration. So I never actually need to protect on an everyday cycle, right? I mean, I said I do, and I kind of do, but really I focus it on certain days that I know big events are going on. If a big event did go on, I'll protect my energy. Because if something happens and then it's all over the news, it's going to impact, right? Now everyone's going to walk around like that, paying attention to the news or the horrible thing that happened. So it is good to even proactively protect your energy if something big is going on. That's totally fine. So I would say overall, you're probably more used to the normal everyday energy. So no, you don't need to protect yourself every day, but do it when you feel like you need to. You can. The other note I said is you can handle most days without having to worry about it. And I think that's what's amazing about being human, is that we're supposed to be human, everybody. Like, we're supposed to have these days where, we don't have to worry about it, right? Like, that would be really annoying if we had to protect ourselves every single day. And I know a lot of people do, and no judgment there, but you don't need to every day. So I think that gets to all of the questions I've read about the auras, the comments. So let me know if you have any questions, concerns, thoughts about protection and energy protection. Again, I think a lot of the questions I received when I posted, hey, what do you want to know about protection and energy? Most of them were more related about me versus you or aura energy. So I'm going to cover that next podcast episode. But I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I just want to thank you so much for being here today and listening in to learn all about energy and protection of it. From my soul to yours, take care.